Hello guys and welcome to a guide of CSGO. I'm gonna go through DUST2 first of all because DUST2 is probably the most common map and the most famous map in all of CSGO. CSGO is like, there's a lot of team play to it. It's a really team-based game, and therefore I'm gonna go over both smokes and how you can, you take the benefits of having your teammates around you, and at the same time make sure you know how to entry and how to approach when you are playing CT and T, because it's both important to be offensive like in the CT side and on the T side, because you're gonna need it on both sides. So without further ado, as people used to say, we are gonna go through T side first of all. And what I want to say about the T side is that on the T side on DUST2, it's very spawn based. It's very spawn based. You can have a spawn and you can spawn somewhere around here. You can have a spawn where you're spawning somewhere around here, and you can have a spawn where you're around here, which is a bit useless because you're gonna spawn in the middle of nowhere. And you can have the B spawn, which is somewhere around here. And you're gonna try to take the advantage of having these spawns and try to use them every single round. What people used to do team based and team wise is they used to do they're playing the default, and the default for me is that someone is gonna hold long, someone is gonna hold middle, and the aggressive middle, because you're gonna have an AWPer in T spawn. That's most common, that you have an AWPer in T spawn that always peeks and always try to watch how many CTs are crushing to to B, and how many are jumping back. Sometimes people jump back and forth to confuse you, and you're gonna have like both guys standing on long. You're gonna have a guy standing here in middle who can take the aggressive push, and you're gonna have a guy in T spawn, and you can have a guy push in here and just push directly down to lower, and you're gonna have a guy who can stay around tunnels and just watch and listen to tunnels. The thing about the default is that people intend to be very aggressive, and on the CT side as well, really good players knows their way around. They know how to push CT side, and if you play against a team that thinks they're better than you, they will try to push always and try to get those kills and try to, be beneficial for their team. So you want to like try to counterattack this kind of stuff, and that's all about Counter-Strike. Like this is such a tactical game. People that don't play Counter-Strike don't really think that it's this much competitive, but it really is. So let's say, for example, I have a long A spawn, which I call it, because you spawn on the ramp and you're basically 10 meters away from long A. What I like to do is I like to either go like super aggressive, just throwing flashbangs over long A, going out super fast. Maybe sometimes I even have like a teammate that can help me. And the most important thing when you push out here is that you don't block him in the entrance. So you cannot stop here because you want to kill this guy on the corner. You want to just try to like explain to him and try to make this plan with him that if we are to go out on long, we need to know exactly what we're doing when we're going out on long. And what I like to do is when I go out long, I always just push out to the blue container. Once I'm at the blue container, my second teammate or the other teammate that I have rushing along, if I have another teammate rushing along, can stop at the corner and just take this peek. And maybe he has an AWP, maybe he has an AK, maybe he's a really good aimer, maybe he's not a good aimer, but the most beneficial way for both of you to push out here is that if you can crush before him, cross to this side. Once you've crossed to this side, he can peek from the corner here and you're not blocking each other. And what you want to do from the blue container, if they haven't pushed out already, if they're not in pit already, which you would of course be covering if they are in pit and try to peek this guy in pit, is the guy on the corner. He needs to be killed somehow. And how I want to do this, how I want to approach this, is just by staying close to this corner. I know there's a lot of things going on, discussions about the peeker's advantage and all those kinds of things. But you gotta be out of sight for this guy, so he can come out wide and try to peek this angle if you want to go for this angle. So once you've taken over long A, and you know the blue container guy wants to push up, he can simply push up, like going really close up here and try to peek these, you know, these angles over here. And this is not a problem because you still have another teammate there. And what he's gonna do is try to get your advantage. So of course he needs to go out wide and he needs to try to get this first peek before you can peek it, because he's always gonna concentrate on that corner. So of course he's not gonna leave that corner. So once you go out here, you want to have this guy still peeking the corner, peeking the car, peeking the fire. Sometimes people like to be on the fire here, or behind the fire. And once he's down here, he's gonna peek, you know, pit and long A side. And this is where you want to do it. Like, this is where you, as a T player, needs to make up a decision. Do you want to go A long? Do you want to push up all the way? Or do you want to just fall back? Now you have taken over long. Now you have pit. Pit is a really nice place to be as a T player, especially if you have an AVP. So you can have an AVP drop down here, and you can basically have the entire team rotating around and try to go short. Because if they try to take short now, and you have short and long A, you basically and pretty much have a side. So there's no need to trying to be crossing over here and to get killed. We all know, everyone that has played CS for 1 month knows that this is one of the places that you have been killed the most. So what you want to do is just simply be smart about this. If you want to push and you want to have like the full force of long A, you can throw some smokes by just coming out here and throwing smokes. And people are never, you know, throwing them the same place. So you're always gonna have some kind of nice wall here, and it's gonna be good for you that then you can cross if there's no gap. You can cross beautifully, and it's not gonna be a problem, because if you take it with full force, you're gonna have flashbangs dropping. You're gonna have flashbangs here. You're gonna have flashbangs over. You're gonna have all these kinds of things, and you're gonna just run up and, you know, full force, no fear. Just go up here, check all the corners, and, you know, do your stuff. Just try to get all the angles and make sure that they're cleared before your team goes in and before you try to get the bomb plant. But if you are not to do this, and if you still have like only one guy down here, and you have long A control, and if you want to take short A control, you could have people coming up from short A in many ways. The best way and the most safe way is that the rest of your team, that could be, you know, the entry fragger, the support player, the in-game leader, who could go around and just take short control. And once they do this, they could do it with a smoke, they could do it with flashbangs, they could do it with all kinds of things. The most common smoke when you want to take short A is by simply putting a smoke on the Xbox in middle. This smoke is gonna take, you know, the side of the guy who's holding middle, who's probably an AWPer. Now he can't see you. So this is really good for you, because there's gonna be a smoke there. So you can basically run up here at catwalk and take short A. There's a really nice way to do this, and there's probably a tons of tutorials and guides out there on the internet. I've seen some really good ones. I'm gonna link them in the description so you can watch them later. If you wanna watch, you know, there's this guy who's like absolutely nuts. He has like 30 smokes on every map. I love watching his videos, and he's really inspiring. So I think you should go and check his videos out. But the smoke you want to do is you want to do this smoke. There's like shadows here, and the lamp shadows, you want to use this like lamp shadow right here. And what I do, I just go to this corner of the lamp shadow smoke, and you find the highest antenna, and this one is the one I'm talking about. So you just point at that and you left click, and the smoke is gonna bounce up a few times here, and it's gonna make a beautiful smoke for you, so you can run up on catwalk. So you're gonna run up catwalk here, and you're gonna try to take short. You can do it in many ways. You can either bounce, flash off here. That was a little nutty, but you wanna just go a little bit more to the right. And you can either do that, or I think they fixed it, so now you can skybox. Yeah, you can actually throw over there. And you want to try to take the angles once again. And you want to have the peekers advantage. The peekers advantage is you don't peek from here, you peek from here, so you have this nice little peeker's advantage, because if you go really close to that corner, he's gonna see your arm and he's gonna see your shoulder before you see him. So you want to go far away so you can like see him with the same, you know, the same speed as he can. So you go out like this and you stop and you check this corner here. You can either shoulder peek it and you can just go out and you check these corners. You check this corner over here. People intend and love to be playing here. If there's a smoke here, you know that there's either a guy on the bump side or you know there's a guy in CT spawn down here in the elevator. So you just wait for this and you make up your mind. You make up your like a decision how you want to approach the bump side now. You can do this in many ways. You can either, you know, flash your way through and just go guns blazing and rush in like, you know, morons, and sometimes it actually works because people don't expect it, because we all think that only morons would do it, and who wants to be a moron, right? So you can take it with a few flashbangs, and there's a lot of ways to do it. You just gotta find your own way to like put in some nice flashbangs here, and make sure that the guy who's on the bump side is white somehow. And also, if he's standing down here, just holding this angle. So find your way and just find a nice pop flash that works for you, and you know, throw some flashbangs in there and try to get that short control. Once you're up here, you need to be checking all the corners again. Like once again, you need to check Goose. He cannot be Goose if there's a guy in pit. But if he's dead on long A, if you lost that guy on long A, you want to check these corners. You want to check all the angles. What you're gonna worry about is the guy on barrels, if he's there. You want to worry about the guy who could be sitting here. You want to worry about the guy who could be standing in this corner, and on the boxes here. So there's corners around here that you want to check. You want to go up and you want to get a bomb plant, and if you still have a guy on long and you know that there's no one on ramp, you don't need to worry about that. So you try to get a good plant, and you want to plant for long A, of course. And you want to have your team set up for a good after plant. So that's basically like how you build up for that A take, and how you want to use the spawn. How that spawn could develop into something, you know, natural, good, and you can actually end up winning a round just by using this spawn. If you have this spawn in middle, there's many ways to do it. You can take, you know, like a really fast pace running down middle here, maybe smoking here and juking, you know, anyone trying to peek you. You can throw a flashbang down there. You can just run forward, and you can try to take the Xbox fast. You could try to take short fast. You could try to, you know, just hold that middle control. The fast suicide way is a really good way, but there is a reason why it's called suicide. I saw SK Gaming, Cold Zero, and I don't know who else did it, but there were like two guys who just ran down middle, and what they did was like they threw a lot of grenades down there. And I think that Fallen or someone else was like holding them. So once the smoke pops, he doesn't have to do anything else from there. But until that pops, he needs to be peeking and covering them so they don't get killed. This is suicide. So running down here is suicide, because everyone can see you down in the middle, and everyone can stop and kill you if they want to do it, especially others. So mid is a really good way, and you just need to make sure what you're doing if you're doing it. And there's many options now. You could either be pushing out middle, and sometimes they don't expect it, and you could backstab people that are running to B, or you could get up here and, you know, do a fast-paced B split. You could also take a short really fast, but be aware that people could see you and people can see you, and that sometimes if they see you run down here, they want to make sure that the A guys will know it, and they will try to explain to them that, yeah, you're coming, and you're going to try to kill them, so they're going to stop and try to kill you. But most importantly, that you, once again, you use the spawn, and mid control is really good on DUST2. We all know that mid control is really good on DUST2. So you want to have that mid control, and once you have that mid control, there's a few things you can do here. You could smoke you could smoke Xbox again, and you could get your team up here, and they could come with you, and you could try to push short, or you could do this, and this is a really nice smoke. A lot of people know it already, but you just walk into this corner, and you just aim at the window up here, and once you've aimed up here, you just left click. And if you want to split B now, you will have a perfect smoke for B push. So this is really good. This is really good if you wanna do a B split, B push. Another good thing if you want to push mid is if you want to throw a flashbang for yourself. You just go into this box. You know, you have to be inside the box and on the left side of the line here, and you just throw a flashbang out here, and it's gonna pop right there. So if he's like camping behind the door, he will be completely white. He will be flashed the whole time. And if he's around here still peeking you, he's gonna be forced to either look into your flash and try to kill you, or he's gonna be forced to try to push back and just fall back. Another thing you can do is you could have like people lining up and try to push out together. And I sometimes see NA teams push up short and, you know, sneak AWPing, like just, you know, going up the entire way like this and waiting for that guy to overpeak, because sometimes you're gonna overpeak on CT side, and that's what the T's are waiting for. They're waiting for you to overpeak, especially to get that first entry frag. The entry frag for the T's, even though you refrag, is gonna have the most advantage for the T's. So you're always gonna, you know, try to get those entries on the T side. That's a lot more important. But on the CT, of course, it's important for both sides, but it has a much more valuable for the T's. So once you have players in middle that can help you take mid, and you have someone down here with a rifle down here, you could have a guy up here helping you out in middle. And if you have a feeling that it's gonna be a guy on the right side down there, you could call out to your teammates, say, can you flash for me? And you can say, yeah, sure, I can flash for you. Now I'm gonna show you the flashbang you will need. What you need to do is you need to just sneak forward, like against these barrels. And what you do is you just sneak forward and you left click. And the flash is gonna do the same thing and have the same effect as the other one had. It's gonna, you know, jump out here and it's gonna pop right in his face. And he's not gonna react to it because it's gonna land here and it's gonna explode. And it's gonna be so, you know, instantaneously that he can't do anything about it. And once that flash is popped, you're gonna need to just turn your back. It's popping, and you go out and you kill this guy. And what you want to do next is just fall back, or you can go out and you can, you know, start executing and start taking over middle like this. But be aware that people that get killed can give information for their teammates. And once they've given information, people can be counterattacking you by jumping up the window and try to kill you when you get out middle. So when you get a kill, it's not all about, you know, getting 4 or 5 frags and make that ace and make that YouTube clip. It's more about, you know, being smart and playing smart. So once you get this kill, you could fall back immediately. And when you don't see anyone here, and you don't have CT spawn control yet, you could jump back and you could wait for the other guy that's gonna pop up here. And like if he wasn't there, and if there was no one there, or if there was a teammate there could be another CT try to peek you and try to get that refrag. So he's gonna try to peek out from here, and you could wait for that guy to pop up here. And this is really smart. This is another way to, you know, get an entry and to like bait those CT players to get out there and to try to kill you. So everything about middle and how you do it, you could do a lot of crazy shit on, you know, short A, and you could do a lot of crazy stuff in middle, and you could do crazy stuff all over there. Middle is a really nice place to be for a T player, because you could do so much damage on the CTs by having middle. And as well as, you know, DUST2, another mentionable thing is that you have, you know, a bomb site over there, you have a bomb site over there, and you have middle between them, so you could force them to not be able to rotate. Going over to B side, I could push in here and show you, like, if you have a good B spawn, how you want to approach B bomb site. And first of all, you need to be sure that you have an AWPer who can peek, because if he doesn't peek middle from here, you will need to have like someone taking lower, because if they see, like, if the CT sees that you're not taking, if you're not taking middle, if he jumps over here and he doesn't see an AWPer, he could be trying to go lower. So if he's trying to go lower and you are setting up for a B rush, you're fucked. So you need to do something about that. And most of the time, we always have like an upper peeking middle, just standing here. He's gonna peek middle, and you know, like now you will know if there's someone coming lower because he's gonna call it for you. So your T player, your terrorist player here, is gonna push in B. And what you want to do here is you want to execute perfectly. You want to have a way that's working. And what many T players does when they're rushing B is they're pushing in and they flash like this and they push in, bam. And if there's a smoke here, what I see a lot of the times when I rush B is people stopping like, oh, there's a smoke, I'm not gonna go, fuck that. But this is the problem for me because what happens when you stop here is you ruin the entire tactic. The tactic is gone. And now we're fucked because we didn't use our spawn this round. So what can we do now? So what you want to do if you absolutely want to, you know, rush in, is you gotta force that rush. You gotta just go in no matter what. If there's a molly here, of course you shouldn't be running through a molly because everyone is gonna have 50 HP, and that is, you know, pretty awful. But what you want to do when you push B is that if you know exactly what's gonna happen, how the CTs are approaching it, but you still have that good B spawn, you would be able to get in there. So now I'm gonna show you a really nice way to take B. And what I like to do is I want to have the first guy knowing that he's gonna bounce a flash, and once that flash pops, he's gonna check car. So the first guy that comes in here could be smoking first, like this, and I'm gonna get back to that. And once that smoke's popped, or, you know, he's doing all of this while running, so he can't really stop to throw these grenades. You gotta do it while running. So you run, you do the smoke first, you're gonna do this, and you throw a flashbang like that. And once that pops, you check this corner, you check the car corner, and the rest of your team can get out. Second guy could be flashing here, like that, and they cross. The bomb planter goes to the bomb site to plant, and that's basically it. That's what you need to do. You need to have the first guy stop that crossfire. So you're gonna have the first guy go out here. Flash pops there. He checks this corner, and you have him to like help you on the bomb site. The reason why I want this is because the CT players that are approaching this bomb site will try to take, you know, the B side with 2 players if they know you're pushing B a lot, or if they know that you could be pushing B. So they will try to put up a crossfire. They want to have a guy really close to B side, or to tunnels, I mean. And he's gonna try to listen if you're pushing. The other guy is gonna be somewhere where he can still provide some crossfire as a cover, and he's still gonna try to be somewhere where if you're gonna get killed first, he could you know, bitch out, or he could try to push in and try to refrag from here. So he's gonna be far away. And sometimes with an op, I've seen good players be here with an op and try to cover that other dude that's running around on B side trying to stay alive. So you need to, you know, destroy that crossfire. And therefore, when you get out like this, if there's a smoke here, you're gonna prevent that guy from window. He can't do shit about this. So if there's a smoke here, he could see like the tip of their heads if they're pushing out here, maybe, if he's a really, really sick player with a high resolution and, you know, laser eyes. But if he doesn't have laser eyes, you're good. So the first guy comes in here, flashbang here, comes in here, checks this corner here, and there's still a smoke right there. He's gonna push forward, try to kill the guy on Xbox, or try to kill the guy who's close on the doors, or try to, you know, assist you. And he's gonna have a smoke, so he can... No, he's not gonna have a smoke. What am I talking about? The next guy is gonna have a smoke, and he's gonna smoke here. So it could be pretty simple to try to push this side. And there's gonna be a flash here. So if anyone is around this area, you know, just standing here chilling, doing their stuff, they're gonna be blinded. But you're not gonna get blinded. You're good. You can push in because the flash is gonna land here, and you're gonna be somewhere around here. So this is a pretty one-way flash. the guy up here, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that the flash is gonna pop like this if you know learn it really well. It's gonna pop here, so he's gonna be blinded as well, and he can't really do anything about being blinded. And if there's a smoke here, and if there's a flash here, and if there's a flash there, he's fucked. So this is a really good way to approach B side. So now you have the spawns. Now you have something you can work with that could prevent you from getting killed, from blocking your teammates, from bailing out a rush because you don't know what to do. Now you have a default setup. Now you have, you know, a few smokes, a few flashes. You could roll back the video, you could watch it again. All I want to say is the next video I'm gonna make for this map is gonna be the CT side, how you can prevent all these things from happening, and how you should position yourself and how you should rotate. Stay tuned, guys.